Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Thursday morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Joe, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening's. Why am I hearing myself? There we go. For this evening's Coding Badly with Joe and Kevin. Can you guess who the second host is? Welcome to Coding Badly. This is a Battlesnake show where we lower the barrier of entry to Battlesnake by showing you just how bad you can play Battlesnake and still have fun. Today we are going to be continuing with a Battlesnake that has been built on the show for a couple of episodes now. Kevin joined us, I want to say 3 episodes ago. We started off building a Netlify function snake, and then Brad's worked with Kevin on the last episode, and we're going to continue today and see how high we can get this snake in the league table for the Summer League before it all wraps up in just over a week's time, 2 weeks' time, end of July, 1st of August. Before we get going, I want to tell you a couple of things. First of all, we're not starting soon. We have started, so that has happened. Secondly, I want to say a huge thank you to our partners. You can see them down here. That's RBC, AWS, and GitHub. Thank them for all of the support to help make these wonderful shows here at Battlesnake happen. If you enjoy what we do and you enjoy watching these shows, make sure you let them know. Let them know it's a good time and that they enable it. Thank you very much to RBC, AWS, and GitHub. I want to run through a couple of things before we kick off. As I mentioned, let's tick that one, and do this one. There we go. As I mentioned, the Summer League is going to be ending very shortly. Here is the Summer League leaderboard. Have a quick look at it. It is going to be wrapping up at the end of the month, and so next weekend is going to be over the course of the coming weekend. Snake Pit Live is going to start getting pretty exciting. This coming Snake Pit Live, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'll run for a reminder again at the end of the show. But you'll see some snakes here have company logos. We've got an AWS snake here at 11th. We've got an AWS snake here at 33 and at 39. AWS coming out strong. We've got some other companies. We've got Certain. Is that what that is? Certain? Does that take me to the company? It does. Certain. We've got a Certain snake. We've got a Schneider snake. All kinds of snakes up in the leaderboard from various companies. We're actually going to be running a special tournament this Saturday at Snake Pit Live. We're going to be running a little bit of a mini tournament with some of these companies. We're going to be putting some of these snakes head to head and seeing how the company representatives do against each other in the field of battle. And also, most importantly, and I will do some reminders at the end of the show, super importantly, this weekend is going to be the Caster's Crown tournament. So if you have somehow not been aware, the Summer League, we've been doing this thing with houses, with caster houses. So there's been a variety of caster houses for you as players to choose from. Sorry. We've been competing for the Caster's Crown. So there's the House of Chris, House of Eileen, the House of Curtis, and of course the House of Joe. And snakes have been able to join those houses, and then every time we do a Snake Pit Live, we do a little bit of a competition, and based on the performance of snakes from those houses, the casters choose the houses and they go into battle, and the casters' houses earn points based on that. So the current scoring, where do I see the total scores? Well, I guess I have a look here. So the House of Chris is well in the lead at the moment of 72 points. House of Eileen 68. House of Joe 50. Am I last? I'm last. Absolutely despicable. Anyway, we'll be bringing that to a close this coming Saturday with the Caster's Crown Championship tournament. So that's an important reminder that if you do represent a house and you have been playing in Snake Pit Live with your house, do please turn up next Saturday and help push your house across the finish line. Keep an eye out from communications from your casters. If you're in Discord, keep an eye on your caster house channel. Just if you've been in touch with your house leader, keep an eye out for anything from them as they rally their forces for the coming tournament. House of Joe folks, you know who you are. Penelope, Shai-Halud, Nosref, Saturday. Please, we can come back from this dark place that we're at. But yeah, that is all of my preamble. Let me get rid of that and get rid of that, and bring on our marvelous co-host. Please welcome Kevin to the stream.
Hello.
Kevin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm having a great one.
Excellent.
I see that Battlesnake Fish was dropping reminders about making the snakes operation this weekend. Thank you very much. One thing I do want to say, because you were concerned about it, you may hear some background noise from Kevin. Please forgive that. It is the UK is melting. It's actually melting. It's on fire. So forgive the fan.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to keep it away from the mic, but for those of you who don't know, in the UK we don't have air conditioning. It's not really a thing. So the couple of weeks a year where it gets quite hot, and quite hot is like 30 Celsius, 32, 33 Celsius, but there's no air conditioning, and it's pretty like the air's pretty still. So I just need something to circulate the air, or I will shrivel. So yeah,
totally defensible. For folks who have not met you, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, my name's Kevin. I code badly, so I'm here on a show called Coding Badly. Not sure whether to be appreciative of that fact or slightly offended.
It's meant to be freeing. It's meant to remove all expectation and free us to do our finest work.
That's the one. Abdul says apparently I'm a smidge louder than you, Joe. Either me, you should go up.
Yeah, there we go. I've gone up. Is that better? I'm
better?
Into the yellow now.
Abdul will let us know, no doubt. Yeah, should we get my screen shared and I can?
We shall get your screen shared.
Yeah.
No, I missed last week. I left you to the mercy of Brad. So what are we?
I'm gonna make no comments as to who was a better co-host.
According to a certain Twitter poll, it is definitely me. So.
Oh, so let's start with what we've been doing is working through the challenges that you get when you first create a Battlesnake account. So I didn't realize I've been doing them sequentially, but I didn't realize actually Brad encouraged me to enter it at the end of the show.
Right.
And as a result, I've actually got them all checked apart from one, which is great.
Nice.
My snake, Agitated Hoover, is not doing too badly. It's in the silver. Let's take where do I do this? Over here in Leaderboard.
You go to the Leaderboard, yeah.
I got it. So we'll wait for that to load. Agitated Hoover, 106. Yeah.
That's good
106.
going. Yeah. I mean, considering you've only worked on this snake during the show and you've had 2 shows.
Yeah, and I'd not done any Battlesnake before, so I think we're going to make this the last show where we work on this Netlify snake, and we can maybe figure out whether it was a good idea or not at the end of this one, or at the end of the league, I suppose. But yeah, I'll talk you through what we did. So for those of you who don't know, this Battlesnake is built on Netlify functions, which is basically an abstraction of AWS Lambdas that are, in my opinion, a lot nicer to work with. You just throw some files inside of a functions folder and just tell it where your functions live. And then you throw it up to Netlify and you have a public URL, which is, all you need. There's a couple of other little bits we needed to do for like the root, a couple of redirects, but it's been going really well.
All those redirects inside, your code base in
your code
coders.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Exactly.
Hey VJ, thank you. VJ first of all pointed out that I missed it. Can't whistle. I still can't whistle. And then also said, do you get flashbacks every time you say AWS? It has been a weird month, is what I will say on that, without getting into any further information. So yeah, Netlify functions. I hadn't. So gone.
Oh, what's happened with our bar?
Oh, I took it down because it's blocking the screen share.
Look at that.
It's
all good.
Yeah, perfect. AWS, a wonderful partner, is what I'm assuming VJ is referring to. I do get flashbacks to all of the times they've supported us here on the show whenever I think about
Love it. Love it. Thanks.
And Kevin, so you were talking about, the general developer experience of Netlify functions. I hadn't used them. I hadn't used AWS serverless either until you came on the show, and I was pretty impressed by how quickly we were able to spin
getting started. Yeah. So let's recap what the snake does, and I'll call out the bits that changed since the last time I was with you on the show. So basically what we did last time.
Perfect.
So every time the /move endpoint gets hit, this function will be invoked, and we will go and grab the inbound payload, which contains all the information about the state of the board, your snake, or the other snakes, the board itself. I've been a master of cryptic variables, so I added some comments. Viable options. So all the viable options in the direction. Sorry, one step back. For those of you who may not have been here before, you have to respond to a call to this endpoint with either up, down, left, or right, and that's contextually important, I suppose. So all the viable options at the beginning are any direction, and then our task is to remove all of the options that are not viable, and then at the moment we just pick one at random out of the ones that are left.
Perfect.
So first thing we do is avoid the walls. If you collide with the walls, you're dead. So let's avoid that. That one's one of the more simple ones.
That's an easy one. Yep.
Yeah. Now, originally, this little bit of code here, what it would do is it would take all of the bits of your snake, all the body pieces, and remove those if they're in a space next to you. And that means that you can't collide with yourself, which also kills you. We slightly adjusted it to just go through all the snakes on the board, whether it's you or whether it is somewhere else. Well, VJ, you're asking, wonder how... Oh, you just mean a random selection of up, down, left, right, just completely random.
It does pretty badly.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. Then on top of avoiding the bodies, there's a little bit of extra work around avoiding the heads. So we go ahead and do that. Oh, hey Brandon, long time no see.
It's great to see
you're doing well. Yeah, lovely to see you. It is a cursive font. I'm still making my mind up if I like it. It's like
I like it in the comments. I'm less sure.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm at. I keep finding myself writing words and not being able to read them properly, and I'm not sure. Actually, just out of
whilst you're doing that,
just out of being kind to our audience.
Hexagon chimed in and said, random can actually do okay as long as you filter out obvious bad moves such as self-collisions. Hexagon, if you filter out your obvious bad moves, it's no longer random. Random can do okay if you're randomly selecting a move after doing 30 levels of depth first search on the appropriate game states. Yikes. At what point does a random walk stop being... How many additions are you allowed to add before it's no longer considered random by the Battlesnake community? So I'm assuming by obvious bad states you mean not hitting ourselves and avoiding walls. Is that the limit? Can we avoid heads?
I mean, that's basically what we've done. Like, at that point it's not random. It's random if there's nothing, right? Like, if it is purely, there is a 1 in 4 chance you'll go either way at all times. No? Because in theory that's all this is doing. No? Anyway, I'm not having this debate. So then we have this... so then we avoid all the heads. And that's just a little more aggressive because you have to consider where the heads of your opponents might be in their next turn and avoid those as well. And then, we pick one of the random ones from the remaining viable options.
Choices, we random. Perfect.
Yeah.
Battlesnake Official has just thrown in... Look up Megaton Collective in the leaderboard. It's a random snake with some safety checks, and it peaks at 109. Where are you? Where are you?
Me? Not
100.
We're lower than that.
We're getting beaten by a random snake.
106. Thank you very much.
106. Okay, we are beating. Oh, there's Megaton Collective. Oh, it's Chris. Chris's snake. Cool. Okay. Perfect. So. Want to center on a couple of things. So this is the last time we're going to be seeing Agitated Hoover in its current iteration because we want to try out a new technology after Summer League. So I feel like we can think of this one of two ways. Either let's try and get Agitated Hoover just a little bit higher before next week, or let's think of this as the last hurrah of Netlify functions. What can we do with that that we can only do with that? Do you have any particular direction you'd like to go in? Any thoughts?
While I mull on that for a moment, VJ asked, how do you host a snake? A snake is just a web server that can respond to inbound API calls with either up, down, left, right. There are a couple of other in the API docs here, the guides. It tells you about all of the endpoints, and there's maybe a couple more that you would want to implement. We've implemented only 2. One that is info. And am I right in saying you need this in order to register your snake, or did I make that up?
The info? Yeah, it's to register your snake.
And then...
Not really. So it's called very rarely. It's to set the color in the name. So you have to refresh your snake to reflect these changes.
Understood. And then move. And there are others like start and end starts interesting because you could, if you are provisioning additional resources, it basically gives you a short lead time on spinning those up. How do you plan to make any variants of this game, like a Joker Square, which kills you if you reach it?
Oh, yeah, we've got game modes. Kevin, you're on screen sharing. Do you want to show some game modes?
Yeah, of course. Where?
Good question. Click play game.
Yeah, it's here, isn't it?
Yeah. There is global arenas different game modes. Yeah, so there's a bunch of included game modes. There is actually, this isn't all the game modes, it's just the ones that are currently like eternal, I guess. So the standard game, VJ, standard rules is basically like any number of snakes in a grid of a certain size, whenever they eat one food, they grow a size, and each turn they lose 1 health. There's 100 health. What you see on the top there is some variations. So Royale Mode is where you will get some barriers growing in from the edge, like Battle Royale, like a hazard source, as we call it, comes in from the outside. So a dangerous space, if a snake is in it, they lose a lot more health. Squad games is, again, as it kind of says in the tin, multiple snakes can be on the same team and work together. And when a snake is on the same team, they do not collide with one another. So you get all these cool strategies like snakes hiding in each other's bodies and that kind of thing. Constrictor is probably the only one where the name doesn't really give away what it does. Constrictor is where your tail is pinned, so your tail never moves. So in normal Battlesnake, whenever you eat a food, that's when you grow. Constrictor, you are just constantly growing. Whenever your snake moves, which is always has to move, you grow. So Constrictor is really very, very difficult. I hate Constrictor and will always hate Constrictor. That game mode ruined our snake. And what's really interesting is like all these game modes play really, really differently. But even within standard games, there are like huge variations. So right now, the Summer League games, they're all Battle Royale. But last league, the standard game, the Spring League, the games were standard, but it was 1v1s. And you would be so surprised what a difference like 4 snakes on a board is versus just a 1v1. It's ridiculous. Is this Agitated Hoover the Agitated Hoover?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do well. Out of curiosity, before I do this, the payload that comes in looks a little bit like this. Does the board data change as your board shrinks in this game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see how it does.
So these, this is Royale. Yeah, of course it's Royale. So that grey space is the Royale we were talking about. It just hung around. Yeah. Wait, so is your snake not doing anything about the hazard source yet? It's
literally just doing walls.
That's what we can do today. We can make it do the hazard source.
Oh, a new attribute called hazard. It's an array will appear. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do that. I mean, let's do. I mean, we've still not done anything with food, but why don't we do this? This looks fun.
You don't need food.
Overrated. Exactly.
You've got 100 turns to hit food. It'll be fine.
In answer to your question, what can you only do with serverless that you can't do, like you wouldn't necessarily be able to do otherwise?
Do I look like I know anything about the cloud?
Not really. Nothing I can really think of in this context. I mean, there's a scalability thing, right? Like huge,
right.
But that doesn't impact our snake.
Yeah.
There's a not needing to look after a server.
Yeah.
Not really that are appropriate for this. But let's take a look at this, right? Oh yeah, and the benefit of serverless is cost, as Brandon.
Yeah, about that.
Oh yeah, about that. Hang on. I mean, obviously this is an abstraction, but about that. Sorry, just to requests every time a function is invoked, and so just to be clear, that will be at the very least every single move in every game that my snake has entered in. Is one of these, and basically before we hit August 3rd, I'm going to hit the limits of this and pay for it. Brad and I were trying to work out, like, I was like, yeah, we'll easily stay within the free tier. Like, it's 125,000 serverless like API serverless calls. No, that was wrong, and we will end up paying for it. But yeah,
it's been close, to be fair. You have nearly made it to the end of the league.
Yeah, I got an email today with 90%.
Yeah.
90, and we're no longer at 90% because 90% would be 12.5. So yeah, I'm not going to make it to August.
You've not used.
Well, yeah, because my snake's not very good. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, just to be clear, the runtime is every time your server your serverless function is called, a serverless function is called, you aren't only billed for the fact you invocated it.
It's a long-running function.
Yeah. So you also want to keep those as lean as possible. And there's nothing really that expensive happening here, but you could do things like connecting to databases on the fly and getting data, and that would happen on every invocation.
Battlesnake has to return a response within 500 milliseconds, so it's naturally a short-running.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we'll take a look at hazards. So we did something slightly different last time. We also, if we look at my snakes, errors while coding will hurt. I mean, I guess. So here in like there is a solution to this in terms of like development, I guess. Oh, you mean just errors in your functions? Yes, that would hurt. They do eventually time out, but it's long. So Brandon has said exactly what we're going to do. There is also now an extremely agitated Hoover, and the only difference here is this is going to use an ngrok URL. So we'll run this function locally. Obviously, we will probably end up hitting like timeouts because there's just another point. So it will hit the latency, but for the sake of today.
Wait, so you've spun up an Express. How are we running this locally?
So yeah, we're on it. So this is a Netlify project, right? It has a netlify.toml file. We're saying where the functions are at. So in here we can type in netlify dev.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And now it's running on localhost 8888.
Perfect.
And then over here,
hey Hugh,
we will. Hey you.
Hey who?
That's not nice.
There you go. That's what Siri had to say about it. That's not nice. Subdomain coding badly, and then we can just leave that going.
Perfect.
Sweet. So now that will come through locally, and that doesn't hit your limits on Netlify. The reality is, obviously, we'll want to push our changes up when we're happy with them, because I'm not always going to have ngrok running for the sake of the league. But that's there, and we'll be testing with this snake instead, extremely agitated Hoover. So with that in mind, let's crack on, I guess. So a new. So on top of this. Inside of this payload, we have game. In fact, why am I doing it like this? When we can take a look at the API docs, which has an example payload, which I think would be a lot better. Where is it?
API. Oh, sorry.
I think it's an API reference, right?
And then it's the object.
Example move request. Yeah.
Oh, that is better.
So we have. I'm going to just knock that up a few steps. So we have game. We have what turn it is, which is interesting. I didn't notice that before, but it is there, I guess. Yeah, turn 5. Cool. Information about the board, which includes all the snakes on the board, of which a shortcut is U for yours, and location of all I can hear myself, by the way, Joe.
I can hear yourself. Sorry, I must have
just very quietly.
I got too close to my microphone.
And then hazards. So I guess we'll want to be avoiding the hazards too. This one feels fairly straightforward. I can copy and paste some of the useful code, right?
Yeah, you would think that, but bearing in mind,
do they move?
They do. Well, so they grow. So the trick. One of the tricks of hazards is like you will have multiple. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to always not go into a hazard. You can go into a hazard, it's just you will lose a stick of health. And sometimes you can be traveling along a row and then the hazard will move into you. And so that's when things get tricky, because you need to make sure you move out of the hazard, because you're looking at, so that's a good example there. So like if you're right at the boundary and then the hazard moves onto you, you need to make sure you handle how you get out of it quickly, because one thing that does happen is if you just look at all the hazards, you avoid them, or you treat them as walls.
Yeah, there's no way to get out.
Yeah, you can get stuck inside the hazard.
Understood.
Yeah, that's the trick of it.
All right, that seems interesting. Okay, all right. So immediately we can just that's okay.
Quieter than you again, apparently.
Hello, Josh. Nice to see you. Okay, so we have board U. So inside of board, we're going to have the hazards. So First thing we'll just check is if the hazards exist, because not every game mode will have them, right? So if board.hazards, we will do some additional logic here. Let's just think this through first. So the first thing we want to do is avoid them if we can.
Sure.
Right? So
that does sound like a good idea. Yeah.
Avoid if possible.
Yeah.
If we are in a hazard,
move out of it.
Look for a non-hazard
yeah.
space and move. That's basically it. So it's two different things here. So first thing we'll do is the avoid if possible. This one just feels like, just so I understand, each one of these considered a hazard. It's an array. So will every one of these squares be in that payload?
Squares, yes. Yeah. And so this is where, so the reason I was putting a funny face is because you just wrote down, if we are in a hazard, look for a non-hazard square. You don't have like path finding or anything in this, right?
No, this is not a clever snake.
Okay, so go back to that example you had open. Sorry, I've dropped the thing that I was fidget with.
Well, surely you would just want to go left because you shouldn't.
Okay, but say you ended up too deep. You're just going to assume we never end up too deep. Is that the tactic we're going to go?
Well, yeah, right. Because my feeling, because my feelings are, if my first step is to make sure I'm not in a hazard, then the only reason I should end up in a hazard is if it grows over me.
Yeah, and then
so then I should be on the edge of it. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like a safe approach.
Yeah. So what will we do is we'll just check if. Oh gosh, this code! Look at this. Oh, delicious.
I'm just gonna point to the logo in the bottom left of the screen.
Yeah. Oof. I don't even remember what this does. I don't even remember what it does.
I get a little bit of joy every time I read
potent possible opponent head position next time. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember. We that's my spell checker in my code editor. We first we check where all the possible positions are, then we work to avoid them. In which case, all we should need to do is take this loop and use the hazards.
Josh said, "Why is Joe giving off D&D DM? You can certainly try."
I know. Oh yes, if you really want to try, you can leave town from the south. I did that once. Our DM was really hinting that we shouldn't do it, and we did it, and they just threw some really powerful wolves on us. We just came out unscathed. Just came out not dead. We were very scathed. Yes, you can certainly try.
It's an art in itself.
Hey John, nice to see you.
This looks stunning. Are you referring to our wonderful coding badly branding or Kevin's terrible code?
Yes.
Brand's dropping. The chat is booming today. Thank you so much, folks.
Yeah. Literal edge case. Wait, I think you might get stuck in a corner if you're just trying to move away from hazards. Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, if you got stuck here at the point it grew, or here, I suppose, at the point it grew, you can't make it out.
You can still assess. You could still. No,
right.
If you could assess diagonals and then just move. Take one of the moves.
Okay, great, but that wasn't what we spoke about, Joe. This has just become more complex now. It
does still work. But what I'm saying is you can still get out of that without having to have pathfinding. Is what I was concerned about. There's when you are stuck too deep, when you are stuck 2 layers deep, if you were doing an approach where you just look for non-hazard squares, there's no way for you to get out. If you're stuck in a corner, you can still see a non-hazard square, so you can get out because you can still see.
Yeah, I can take one of the directions between it, I suppose. Yeah. All right, sweet. So in theory, this should avoid the hazards if possible, and then we have to handle the case where avoid if possible, and then if we're in hazard, leave. But there is the corner case. So let's just think about that.
So
this is me thinking.
What I'm thinking about that is if you can't see a one-step move, so not left, right, up or down, but you can see a blank corner, you eliminate the 2 directions from the array that are not next to that corner, and then you'll move into one of the spaces which is next to the corner.
So I think John just got here. So let's just recap the difference. So we're now trying this different game mode, Royale, and in this game mode, the board will start to close in on you, and what will come in the payload, sample move request, what will come in the payload is this additional property in board called hazards, and it will tell you where all the hazard squares are. So all we're trying to do, because we've kind of got this logic a few times over, we're avoiding all the snake bodies, and then we are going out one further and avoiding the heads. And so now we're doing exactly the same for those hazard squares. But yeah, there is a chance we'll get stuck in it if it grows while we're on the edge. So,
the game mode that the Summer League is playing, that Kevin Snake is currently entered in, is Battle Royale, is this game mode. And so Kevin Snake right now has been developed, again, in games he set up and has been playing Royale, but didn't account for hazards in the previous 2 streams.
No. So yeah, if we're in a hazard space, so I agree. So yeah, you literally just want to look up, down, left, right. And then if there's no viable option,
then you look.
Repeat the exercise. This feels unnecessarily complex, like unnecessary.
Well, it's a very.
We could probably do it in one. We could probably do it in one go. But you know what? This is not a stream where we write good code. It's a stream where we write code that kind of works. Yes, cool. I'm sure there's a LinkedIn.
Right first, optimize later or something. I don't know.
Yes. Okay, cool. So if we are in a hazard, so what we'll do is we'll loop over the body pieces and check if we are in a hazard, right?
I think it only matters if our head is in the hazard.
Let's refer back to game modes.
I actually don't. Now I've said that, I actually don't know. If the head. Yeah, it's the head. Yeah, so we only care if the head's in.
Nice. Oh, 15 health per turn if you're in a hazard.
God,
like you really do. Yeah, that's if you get stuck in that corner, that's basically 30 points gone, like just vanished.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Hugh makes the correct comment here. Optimize later, knowing full well this snake
when
goes
we've
in
started
the
the street.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's check if we're in there, which actually makes this a lot easier because what we'll do is we'll do all the hazards.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could just do it in here.
Do what? The corner check.
Like because we're looping through. No, I'm actually just going to duplicate code, and we'll do one thing. So are we in a hazard? Are we in a hazard square? So we're just going to loop over that and see if it collides, I suppose. Let in hazard square force. And then
hang on a second.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this code again. So run me through this hazard code here. So you're checking if there are hazards on the board. Yeah. If there are hazards on the board, we
loop through them.
But we loop through the hazards looking for our snake.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's not a word for this stream. Oh, biscuits. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So
we want to flip this round. We want to from our snake look for hazards. Okay.
No, this is correct because the X and Y values are the hazard.
But why do we?
It literally doesn't matter. So what we're doing is
what I'm thinking is there could be like 200 hazards in a board, and we're going through every hazard and saying, are the squares around you a snake head? Is that not what this is doing?
We are taking our snake's head and we're saying in either of the four positions, is there a hazard?
But so you are doing that, but this is all in a loop that says for a hazard from this board of hazards, do that. So for every hazard in the map, you are checking.
Because we need to also determine. I suppose there are lots of ways to do this. I think this works. The other way to do it.
I mean, it works. It's a lot of checking.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not contemplating my life. I already know that somehow I have an employer to. I have an employer to employ me, even though this is the kind of code I write.
Also, it does have to be said, the standard warning at Coding Badly is we are both doing this. This show is on Pacific time. We are not on Pacific time. This is late for us. Expect nonsense.
John's making some suggestions, but do you want to know what? It's nearing 10 p.m. at night for me, so I'm
No,
gonna
but hang
ignore
on.
it.
I just want to make sure that
It's
I'm
too
not being dumb
sensible.
here. Like,
Yeah, right.
Is what I'm saying makes sense. So you're getting all of the hazards, and then
I am.
you are checking. You're getting all of the hazards, and then for each time you're getting your snake head and checking only the squares around it. So we don't need to do that for every. We only need to do this from our snake. We don't need to do this for all the hazards.
Oh yeah,
I think you
yeah.
can just get rid. You can literally just get rid of that for loop, and it works.
No,
Except you
we
need to
do
get
want
the
to check
hazards.
we want to check exactly, and so we're comparing against each hazard.
No, hang on. So what you want to do? So you want to remove that for loop, and you want to remove that const. And what you want to do is filter the hazard array in the filter on the heads.
Well, all that does is determine, but because then you have to do a second thing, because all that will do is say yes, you're correct. I can hear myself again, by the way.
Sorry, I got you.
No, that's okay. No, but then that will go, yes, that's correct. It will say, yes, you are colliding, but then we'll have to do the check again to figure out in which direction it is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's
so
fine.
So then it's a two-step. Then it's a two-step process.
Yes.
Why can't we just go the opposite direction to the nearest hazard? You could do that. I feel like so there are lots of ways of writing this snake. Right now, the logic is kind of dumb, which is just take out the viable options. Yeah. So that it's a little bit.
But also nearest hazard. Like if you go back to the example in the docs again.
Here, yes.
So look at the pumpkin snake. What is the nearest hazard there, and how do you go in the opposite direction to it? Is it the one on you? How do you go to the opposite direction on you?
Yeah.
And then all of the other ones are equidistant. So like going opposite to any of them doesn't help.
Oh, all right. So this works, right? And so the reason this works, the reason why doing other things works, but like I can't be bothered to rewrite it, to be quite frank, is it would tell you yes, you've collided, but then you're going to have to do another check of like which direction it is, and this code works. And I like it when it works and I don't need to write anymore. Okay, cool. So then we're just going to check, are we in a hazard square? So this is where we can do that, which is just going to be, we're going to go through the hazards array and see if the XY matches our XY, right?
You and Josh, can you go away? I'm being bullied in chat. Sorry, yes, we checked yes. What you said, true.
Yeah. How to make something that works. Don't write something that doesn't. I don't actually think we do need to loop this. So we'll say let in hazard square. Yeah, we can go in here, board.hazards.find hazard. So this is an individual hazard, and all we want to do is check is the XY the same as our XY. If it doesn't find anything, it'll be undefined, which is falsy. So it will be false for the sake of evaluation. And if it does have something, it will have the value, which I suppose then we could do something in it. So our XY is in U.
U dot head.
Yeah, U dot head, exactly. U dot head. So all we want to do is return if hazard is equal to U dot head. Or just head, because is chat being mean to you?
No, chat's being mean to you.
Oh.
That's actually that's going to be a new genre of coding badly challenge. Make your big O as high as possible as quickly as you can.
I was about to be like, John, come back to me when it's 20-10 for you, but it is. So now he's a clown. It reminds me of the clown filter. Anyway, so that's the hazard square. Colliding hazard. So then that'll either so if colliding hazard. Yeah.
Right.
So there are two cases here. Case one, there is an easy out. Yep. And then case two is you are in a corner.
Cool. The nice thing about this game, Jonathan, is we have a very easy benchmark for performance. We don't care about anything except that it returns in 500 milliseconds. If it does that, we're golden and we don't have to care. So
Exactly.
and also
Exactly.
the only time
Also-
that the way that hazard check is going to become a problem is when there are lots of hazards, and that's already making the incredible assumption that we survived that far into the game. So
Yeah.
realistically,
Also-
not going to be a problem.
Also, just while I'm being flamed, I just want to remind you, I'm in silver. I'm above just
Not
random
bronze.
with some safety checks. Yeah. So there you go. All
Let's
right.
not look
So
at how many snakes are above you.
sorry.
No, don't worry. I said let's not look at how many snakes are above you before I realised that was evident by the rank number anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. What time is it for you?
For me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I get it. Haha.
That is an easy out. So all we want to do here is check. Is left, right, up, or down blank? Yeah, John's making a really John's reiterating your point to the point where I'm like, do we even need to care about the corner case?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, Hextagon, A++ naming things. Here we go. Possible opponent head position next turn. Pon.
That's like Haskell developer worthy naming at this point.
Yeah. We also have just VO, viable options, which keeps coming up. Yeah. All right. So, is... Thank you, Hextagon. So, yeah, there is an easy out. So we just want to check, is that upright, left, down matching us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with force, and then we'll... Yeah. No, I think we should say is a difficult out is in corner. Right? Because that's the chances are it will likely be force. So, John is in your corner as a Haskell developer. Yeah. Well, you're really into Haskell. That's your thing,
it's
isn't
a generally acceptable language, and I will have nothing of the sort. Perfect. Sorry, my chat's over here, and watching Kevin's over here, so there's a long round trip for me to keep watching chat. So don't mind it.
Don't worry, I'm doing it. I'm enjoying this chat. It's very lively today.
They are very lively. They're out of
I'm
control.
into it. So yeah, we just want to check if we're in corner, which is all four sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we perhaps dealing with the corner a bit prematurely? We haven't even seen if this will happen yet.
I suppose. All right. So there is an yes, you are. Thank you. So
This is your fault, Brandon. Don't you do that. Don't be like, oh, you're dealing with that. You're the one who brought it up.
yeah, you are
You
the one who
sowed
brought it
these
up.
seeds.
I know. So yeah, if we're in a colliding hazard, we'll just find the way out, right? Yeah, Brandon, I also said to build it. Says the person still posting in chat that I'm watching. All right, yeah. So we just want to find what direction is solid.
Yeah.
So we want to check head dot x minus 1. If head dot x minus 1 is equal to head, so now we need a loop again, I think. Let me just have a think because I'm just talking. If there is a colliding hazard, we have the colliding space. So what we want to do is check the spaces on all the sides of the hazard and check where there isn't one. That's what we need
Is that
to
not
do.
what the code above it was doing?
What this does is, yes, I think so. I don't even know what's going on anymore. This is like four
you're assigning-
streams in.
V0 is the new array minus...
Yeah.
minus
Whatever we're
context,
filtering
right?
out, correct.
Yeah, so you've already done... So you're rewriting the code. We just need V0, don't we?
V0 will show me all the viable options.
Yeah. But
So I
the
wanna
viable
check-
options are ones that don't have hazards in.
Correct. So that is exactly what we want to do. So V0 will be an array of all of the available options. No, but it will be empty if there's a colliding hazard.
Oh, if we're in
So
a
this
hazard
is us.
area.
This is us putting stuff back into the array. It's the opposite.
Okay, so do we not need to have this... That says if colliding hazard...
Yeah, so the colliding hazard is the space
Should
where our head
this
is.
whole block of code be inside a check to see if V0 is empty to begin with? Is that a better way than doing colliding hazard?
V0 will be empty if we have collided with something. All of these will have been met and stripped everything out of VO.
Okay, got you. Oh, it's an O. Okay.
God, Hugh's coming right on the TypeScript train today.
So
Is the hazard just Kevin colliding
Hugh
with his
wrote
variable?
a really wonderful TypeScript binding to Battlesnake, which he's hard on the marketing. I reckon he's getting a cutback from Brad on that.
That's it. So next time. Also, this is called coding badly. So let's take away all the safety net.
Yeah, let's make a show that's kind of like coding badly, except we don't actually write any code because we're too busy arguing with the compiler about types for the entire show. I've done that one already. I did that in December 2020. Yeah, so I'm still not. I mean, again, I might just be being bad. So,
I'm literally right. Okay, so right. Let's think about this. We're going to go through all the hazards, right? Then what we're going to do is say, is our head where the hazard is, or is sorry, not our head where the hazard is?
the space
one
next to
space
our
away.
head.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
Because if there is no space, if we are in a hazard, then V0 is empty. So we don't need to do colliding hazard because we already know that because V0 is empty.
Yeah, but what this will do, yeah, I suppose so. But what this will also do is tell us which square we've collided with.
Okay, that's fair.
So
okay.
Yeah, you're right. It was redundant for our purpose, but
Okay.
it does do something else for us. It tells us exactly which one we've collided with,
But
so we can do our comparison against this.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So what we want to do is say up, down, left, right. Check it from the colliding hazard. Is there another hazard in that space? That's what we need to do here, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is say colliding hazard dot x if x minus 1 and so this sounds like pathfinding to me. So if x minus 1 and y, so this, just to explain, this is why we end up in this position. And I'm not even sorry anymore. I don't care.
If Switzerland got x minus 1.
Exactly. So this means that it's on. John, I genuinely didn't realize how much this would bring me unbelievable physical pain.
I mean, I feel like y'all didn't read the title here. Let me help you. Let's
you.
acknowledge what you've come here to watch for a moment.
Thank you. Do you want to know what? It's quite funny having John here because now we work together as well. I feel the need to constantly stress this isn't the quality of my actual code that I actually write in my job. Okay, right. So this means that we are x is minus 1 and y matches. So we're on the left here, right? I literally have it right here. What am I even doing? Great. So if colliding hazard minus 1 and colliding hazard dot y, no, this doesn't make sense. Equals, this is an absolute mess.
Sorry, so we're checking.
I don't even know. Right. Right.
So okay, this block of code, we are yeah.
Is the space on the left a hazard? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's happening? I'm having this weird thing with my keyboard. It's a thing with my keyboard. I'm going to blame. I know about workman blames his tools. I'm having a thing at the moment with the Bluetooth on the Mac Mini to the point where I'm actually like, what is the point of owning this lovely machine if my stuff doesn't work? A hazard. So if this is where we're at. So if
So to the left, so it's x minus 1.
So if on the left it is a hazard.
So you need to go back into your hazard array again. You do hazard.find.
Yeah, I think this might just be a way. Oh yeah, or we could just go into the hazard array. Great. That's exactly it. board.hazards.find hazard. And what we want to do is figure out whether whether one space to the left is empty.
So hazard equals head.x. Well,
you got it.
Yeah.
Hazard equals x. Oh gosh, right. And this is me catching up with chat. Right, yeah, I need a mechanical keyboard. I tried a mechanical keyboard and I hated myself. I wouldn't want to think about those around me. Because a super clicky keyboard, you plug in with the cable type as fast as the electrons will carry the thoughts from your fingers. Today we present Kev, a novel new pathfinding algorithm that is 500% slower than the closest comparable algorithm.
But does it return in 500 milliseconds? That's all we care about.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're going to figure out if left. So what we'll do here is say colliding hazard dot x minus 1 and y.
I'm scared that I see Brandon agreeing with product recommendations in this chat, because last time Brandon agreed with a product recommendation anywhere in my proximity, I ended up with a brand new espresso machine.
I love that. So if the left is a hazard, I'm not sure what this is what we want
then we
to
don't
do.
care. We don't want it in the array.
If hazard is not equal to that, stick it back in the array. That's what we want to do.
So do we actually... Okay, so I'm going to ask... Let me ask the complete question. This will be nonsense. So when we're in the hazard, we are looking to get out of it as fast as we can.
Yeah.
If we are in this position and we're adding something back into the array, in this position, there's no reason any other move would be in the array by this point, right?
It won't be, because we're in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're always going to be taking the fastest route out.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Someone clip that face. I just need that moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think
we've not even run a snake yet. So we can't be doing this for much longer. I know. So right. So if it's left, we'll go vo dot push left. Right.
Yeah. VJ, I've got to be honest. Like, my hands had been on that snake, but by the time it nearly run that tournament, it was definitely mostly Brad's baby. I can't take any credit for... The badly coded snake that keeps nearly winning things, I don't know how that snake works. That is mostly Brad's engineering at this point.
There we are. So that is left, right, down, and up. I think that will do the trick. Yeah. All right. We might just ignore this case too. Right. Let's just grit our teeth and hope for the best, which is basically where I'm at. So we will play a game with extremely agitated. We only need one of those, I guess. Yeah. And we'll start the game. We should just see those requests coming in. They are good. We'll just give that a moment.
You're just watching the requests and not watching the thing.
Well, no, because I don't like it when it starts to stutter, but it's going on for quite a while. I don't like it when it stutters, so I'll wait till we hit the end.
Like when a video is like constantly buffering every couple of seconds, you're like, just pause it for a minute, just let it buffer.
Exactly. All right.
Is this a Royale game? This isn't a Royale game.
Oh, well, let's just see how good it did anyway. Yeah, not very. Okay, let's play a game. You're right, Royale.
That's why you needed two of yourself. Okay.
Yes. Okie dokie. Yeah, it's not very fun for the stream to watch, so I'll do that. Okay. All right. I think I might have been in it for a space. Yeah. I made it out. It's
very difficult to tell what is just. Oh wow, you killed yourself.
Well, that's like because there was no other way to go. Oh.
Well, no, I meant there was no other way to go because your other snake did the other snake.
Yeah. There was no more. So obviously there's like there's so much more logic you would want to add in to avoid finding yourself in this situation where there is, as soon as I hit here, I was screwed. Like there was no other way to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could. This is where you can decide, like, hey, is my health over a certain threshold? This risk a dip in the hazard source, but like that might be a bit beyond my capabilities. But this is looking like it's working.
My literal capabilities, not even the time we have. Let's see the
rematch, or you just restarted.
Yeah, I did. No, I did. I created a rematch. But I was definitely in it last game because my body went into it. So my
that's an off by 1 error on some tail chasing, I think. Did your snake eat food? Why did it do that?
Yeah.
Are you?
Good question.
Where's your? I imagine you're doing the thing when you body check where you remove a segment so that you can tail chase, and that's something you just got wrong here.
No.
Oh, hang on. Your latency. It wasn't a timeout, was it?
No. That's what I immediately went to. Was it a timeout? You see here, oh, you might not stream, but it says 297, 297.
Yeah.
And if that goes over 500, like, tough. It just goes in the same direction. But yeah, latency wasn't actually too much of an issue today.
So why did it hit a tail? Should we take a look at your body code and try and work out why that might be? Or your body avoiding code?
Well, good luck reading it, first of all.
Is this the potent?
Potent, yes. No, because that's the head. Yeah. It's just this. It's going through each part of the body, which is minusing minus the tail. Yeah, because where the tail is right now, you don't want.
This is the error. So slice doesn't include the last element. So you don't want to do body length -1. You just want body length because that will already be -1. So what you're doing here is getting an array that's missing the tail and the next body segment down.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, take that, Hugh. I know a JavaScript.
Hugh was in there, was literally in there before it even came out of your mouth.
I want to thank Execute Program for teaching me about how slice works.
Oof. It's not doing too badly, though.
Oh,
it did badly there. No, yeah, it did.
This was the corner case. We've done it. Because your body was behind you. So you couldn't get out in the fast route. This is another place we need to do diagonal. This isn't even a corner. This is...
Yeah.
Body problem.
Yeah. Oh, no, because at this point, the issue is here. So at this point, all the space...
It can't see any square. But then the next one, it should be able to see... Oh, no, it wouldn't be able to.
It's the bot. I wonder.
We found a way where we get too deep.
Because, we're not even just that. Here, we have to combine both the body and... no. Oh, I wrote that I can't hear you, Joe, because you're quiet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My mic again. The thing about JavaScript.
Microphone is here. Kevin's screen is here. So when I get really into it, I'm too far away from my head. I'm just going to start doing this. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect.
I mean, I could always hear you. Part of me is like literally, like we're an hour in, right, and we have about 90 minutes. We have about half hour. I'm actually wondering like how well would this just fare?
Well, the fact that you're now avoiding, you were ignoring the main part of the game mode you were playing in. The fact that you're now dealing with that is probably gonna that's got to deal with at least, I'm gonna say at least 20 positions. Aurora, are you still around? Aurora, what do you reckon? So when you go from a snake that's not paying attention to hazards to a snake that's paying attention to hazards, I reckon. So it's at 106 right now, and if you start avoiding the hazards, conservatively, that's got to be a 20 position jump, right? The question was, so Kevin's snake was at position 106 without accounting for hazards, so it wasn't doing any hazard checking whatsoever. Yeah, and now it started doing hazard checking at a position 106. If you are just not running into the hazards and dying, that's got to be at least 20 positions on the league board, right? Like we'll get Kevin to gold on this.
I was wondering how many steps above me is gold, right? Yeah, not that many. 10. Oh, geez, yeah, I'd say at least a solid gold.
Oh, VJ. No, VJ.
You've literally just said it's a ginger Brit, Ed Sheeran.
You know, the amount of times I've actually just been heckled in the street where people would literally have just shouted the words Ed Sheeran at me is like higher than you think.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, it's literally 0. Really?
No, it's disconcertingly high. And that and the other one is Harry Potter. I get Harry Potter a lot. No idea why. Pale and I have glasses.
Do people hear you talk? Are they just like, oh, British accent?
Literally just walking down the street for some reason in that, if you haven't been to the UK, it's a place where people shout around celebrities at you in the street.
Is it?
It's honestly, it's so bizarre.
All right. So
yeah, I reckon that's gonna be a big improvement.
We'll see. Basic hazard, not even basic hazard detection, I guess. Let's not waste any time with every 10 minutes that being hit, right? Let's not waste any time.
Yeah, let's get it in there. Get the points right.
This new interface in Visual Studio Code for the terminals completely bugs me out.
I've never seen this, so I need
This is like that. This is a separate terminal, and this is a split terminal.
I might not get this because I've stripped all the UI out of my VS Code, which really backfired in a stream on Tuesday. Because now, so I don't have that sidebar with the icons to go between search and explore and whatever.
Yeah.
I have to remember the keyboard shortcuts.
I have a set that I use that I have configured from like a course like Make VS Code Awesome or something, and so I've got like I've got like a whole set of them.
Yeah,
which is quite helpful.
But yeah, so I opened the extensions browser to have a look at something, and then I forgot the shortcut and couldn't get back to my editor for like 5 minutes of this stream. It was terrible.
How do you remove stuff from VS Code? That weird tab thingy bugs me out. I don't know what do you mean by tab thingy? We can help you, but even just here on the right hand side, you can right click. You can hide this bar. It's normally over on the left, right? You can just hide the whole activity bar.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll load up my thing for him.
Yeah. I'm not quite confident. Oh, I've hidden it now. But there's this view thing up here.
Sorry, I'm going to take the screen share for a second. This is now a VS Code stream.
Okay.
So, like this, VJ, is the thing that you're talking about visible? There's a lot of stuff in this. Perfect. Okay, so I'll send you my settings. I'll put Ken back on. I'll drop you.
Also,
yeah.
Sorry. Go on, Joe.
I was gonna say I'll drop you my settings because I nicked a bunch of settings from someone who built like a minimal VS Code thing. But there's a lot of settings that aren't exposed in the UI that are like flags to turn things off. So I'll drop you that, and you can strip out what you don't want. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Escon says I'm always impressed that people can code in large fonts and few lines. Yeah, I don't. I have a keyboard shortcut to toggle between when I'm streaming and when I'm working, because that's not kind to the stream. But I have Command KK will toggle between the two. So yeah, that's just because I share my screen enough, right, with code in it. I have the same in terminal as well, but it becomes just completely unwieldy because there's a lot of text in it and it's thin to make it huge. But I do have the same thing as well.
VJ was talking about the minimap.
The
minimap VJ is literally just the setting is just minimap, and you just disable it. But I will send you this in the Blahars chat.
Right here, minimap. Untick. But yeah, I have quite a lot of like custom VS Code settings for various bits and bobs. Anyway, right, got another 25 minutes. I feel like we've given up. We haven't given up. Still have 25 minutes.
Well, I think it's a big improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of me wants to just make that one change, enter it, and see how much better it does. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think
objectively,
it will do a bit better.
Objectively,
But
how
I
much
think
better
there's still some easy improvements we can make before we head out. So
what would you recommend doing next? I mean, we're still not doing anything with food, but we have 25 minutes, right? And that requires a degree of wayfinding. Could you do a stream about VS Code config sometime? Don't know who that's aimed at. I'd be happy to do something like that.
the problem is I don't know it. Yeah, I would love to see you do it. I don't know anything about VS Code. I just copy settings from Google.
There was this course by, I think his first name's Caleb. I can't remember his last name. Just like make VS Code awesome, and in that it's sharing a lot of them. And granted, I don't use some of them because they're just not for me. He also does stuff like hiding the numbers, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, how can I share my screen and talk about code without people being able to refer to the line?
I had the code line, the line numbers hidden, and I had to turn it back on.
Same. What else can we do then?
So I want to solve this problem. I think there's probably a simple thing we can do to solve some of our running into bad. I feel like there must be some way we can solve this running into bad spaces problem that doesn't involve us installing full pathfinding. So like, I wish we still had that game state where we didn't have anywhere else to go, so we went into the hazard.
Yeah.
Like
you can
like
did that deploy, by the way? It did. Agitated Hoover now does some hazard detection. We shall continue with extremely agitated Hoover. Is it hazard the moment you see it for the first time? The pulsing's getting me.
Yes.
It kind of looks like it's getting ready to come in. Well, there's another one, right?
Why did we hit body here?
Because...
Oh, you were head avoiding. I think you were head avoiding.
What do you mean I'm head avoiding? Yes, exactly.
The only move is to go exactly. So this is one we can fix, because here it makes more sense to take the chance on the head than to go into the body. So that's an easy case we can fix. We're applying Brad's methodology now, which is find an error and try and fix it. So this is just your head avoiding code being a bit aggressive. So we need to like check. So how are these? So the body collision code is before the head code, right?
Yeah.
So how does this even end up still being in there? Because so the array is probably empty, so it's going the same direction it was going before. Is that what's happening?
Correct.
Okay, so that's an easy thing we can add. So each of these sections, so you do body check, strip things out of the array, head check, strip things out of the array.
Yeah.
Is it worth us adding something to the end of each of those blocks that says, hey, is the array empty? Add back in just an empty square. Add in a square that was empty. So like in this case, for example, it does the body check, it removes 3 out of 4 squares. It does the head check, it removes the remaining square. By the time it gets to the end of that block, we say, hey, is the move array empty? Then let's just put in the square on the board that isn't currently occupied, because that's better than nothing.
I'm for that. So that's actually here. It's after this. It's after this loop.
Yeah.
So if vo.length equals 0, we now want to figure out exactly as you said,
which of this
is free,
which one is unoccupied. VJ said, can we have some kind of priority system? Moving away from the boundaries gets more priority. We can then have priority queue sorts. Funny, VJ, that's exactly how badly coded Snake actually works. So badly coded Snake is using A star pathfinding, and then what we ended up doing was basically having a queue of possible destinations and then assigning some kind of score to all of those destinations, and then before we pick the final destination, we sort the array by that score. So that's exactly how badly encoded Snake actually works, or did work. Again, I don't know what Brad did to it. It got good, so I assume he stripped all that code out.
So just I'm refreshing myself mostly on how this works. This is where the overly aggressive list of squares to avoid is being entered.
Yeah.
So that isn't what we want.
Which is fine. We just need to add back in the thing at the end. But like, I feel like you probably want to use this after every check. So I feel like it might also almost be worth just like writing this as a standalone function, which is like check all of the
All right,
spaces
yeah.
around me, find the first empty one, and then we just call that at the end. And put
Yeah.
So I guess pass it an array, and
Yeah. Find any empty space.
Yeah.
And I think in
And
here
we
we could
pass
probably
it the
just
board array.
just give it the whole game.
Just give it the game. Yeah, but then I also think we want to give it our moves array. Or we could just
What do you
move
mean?
that.
Yes.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah,
Well, no, because if it's empty, there's nothing in it, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you're right.
So we want to give it the whole. Is the game the uppermost? No, we don't want to give it the game. We want to give it the board.
Board. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And so all we want to do is look around us, see what's empty, and put it back.
And we've got that code. We've seen that code before.
This is an absolute mess. Like I cannot even. Like, there is a level of shame that I am totally
I reckon
embracing.
if this snake makes it into what's the rank above gold, you have to get this repeated block of code where we're checking all the squares around you tattooed on your back.
I'd be not sure about that. So board dot me.
Well, VJ,
Right.
if I told you that, it wouldn't be an
You
Easter
guys
egg, would it?
separately.
You'll have to play the game and find out.
Or what is it? It's the whole. There's board. There's you. Yeah. So board.
Yeah,
and
we
you.
want-
That's what we'll pass in.
Yeah.
Me. I guess.
Board.
So what are we trying to do? Sorry. So yeah. So we have you. So we don't need to do anything with that. You is just. We want the head.
Mhm.
That is completely the wrong way around. Right, so we have our head, and then we want to check one space around it. So if head dot x minus 1 equals no, because so we don't just want the board. We want all of the spaces
snake-
around us that have stuff in it. Right.
Yeah, so we're going to
There's going to be some copying and pasting here, perhaps.
Yeah, so there's going to be two things you're going to need to check. So the items that matter are snake bodies and hazards. So you're going to want the hazards array. That's number one. You're going to need to check inside the hazards array, but then you're also going to need to check inside the snakes array. But I think you're going to have to do you're going to have to check for every snake. So yeah, you can just copy your passcode probably. For the snake
exactly.
bodies.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the snake bodies. It is here. It is. Oh my. This is something. So for all the snakes, we'll get all the parts. This is what we want, right?
Yeah.
So for all of the snakes, we'll go through all of the parts, and if there is something in it, we will filter it out.
But this code,
No.
so this is backwards. We want to be doing
Oh,
so this
wait.
code is. Yeah, so we want to do the other way around. We want to check if there's nothing. If the condition isn't true, put left back in.
If the condition
So
is
v0
not
equals
true.
an array left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then v0 just equals an array left. Oh yeah, or you can push. Yeah.
Because it is an array. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. This is. Oh. Someone actually using multi-cursor. Oh my god.
Oh, I use it all the time.
I feel like it's like the thing that every editor is like, we have multi-cursor, and no one ever actually uses multi-cursor.
Oh, all the time. Cool.
A VS Code live share setup session would be neat. Well, let's just have a VS Code sesh. Let's just all jump into a Discord.
I would love to see like how other people set up theirs.
You know, this is really great. So, I don't know if Brad would be mad at me for saying this. Me and Brad were talking about just bouncing ideas around, just doing like a live coder academy. We would just do like a course on how to live code, as in like the setup, not as in like how to write good code on the camera, like how the setup. So it sounds like Hexagon would enjoy that.
Yeah. So if there are no body parts, yes, that makes sense. It still
Yeah.
doesn't help. Yeah, because we're already avoiding the hazards. So no, but all this is doing.
Yeah, so now I think we
Oh
want to do that.
yes, yeah. I understand. So at the bottom of each
And now
of
you
these,
throw that function in at the bottom of it, yeah.
exactly. So we'll do it after all the snakes, after you avoid all the heads. We don't have to do it at every point. We can do it after the
No, I
snake
think
checks
for
and
now
then
we
after the
only
hazard
have to-
checks.
Yeah.
So
So I
if
don't- yeah.
vo.length equals 0, then find an empty space. VO is
Yeah, I
not
thought that's what
global.
you meant, Josh. I actually haven't used that since it came out, but it wasn't super hard at the time.
I have used it and it's really good actually.
Yeah. The only
So
thing
if
is,
you-
and this isn't actually a problem for most people, it does require you using like linking your VS Code to Microsoft's live services, which just still weirds me out. I just don't like the idea of my editor being connected.
Do you want to know what? Now you've
Account.
said it, like that didn't really freak me out until stuff like Copilot, and now I'm like, I don't trust anything. Like, yeah. Anyway, so
It's
if
like
it's,
VS
if
Code
it's-
keeps asking me to do settings sync, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. Sorry, go on.
No, you're absolutely all right. What are we throwing in here? We're throwing in the board and you. Board and you. Perfect.
Oh, you did put you in it in the end.
Yeah,
Getting it
because
from
you,
board. Okay,
no, because board gives you snakes,
got you.
and then I'd have to work out which one was me, and you is on the same level as board. Do you not have Copilot installed? I actually was accepted into whatever it is, a beta, and I then decided not to install it. It freaked me out a little too much.
Incidentally, join us next Thursday when me and Brian Douglas from GitHub play Battlesnake with Copilot.
I'm just each to their own. I'm not going to judge other people, but it's
I
not for me. Not for me. I'll keep writing my terrible code like this by myself.
One thing I do want to do with Copilot, and it's completely irrelevant, but I'd like to try using it to learn a programming language. I'm quite intrigued by that. Like, I just want to rock up with a language I don't know and just be like, Copilot, tell me how to declare functions in this language, and give that a go. I'm pretty intrigued by the idea of doing that.
I think we did it, by the way.
Well, let's see. I mean, now we've got to run into that exact situation again, but
I suppose, yeah. I mean, it's not going to do worse than it did before we started, he says. I was in it there and I made my way out of it, which is nice.
you did very swiftly. The latency is not too bad either.
No, I actually think it's me. You know, I know this is like, don't do this if you're live
timed out
streaming.
there.
Yeah, but you know, people say it's don't do, and again, don't do this if you're live streaming. But I'm on Wi-Fi right now, so I think it was just us having a shaky time before. Yeah, no, that was I couldn't not do that because here I'm not
Sorry,
assessing.
I thought your
up
head
or
was in a
down.
different place when it was.
No.
Okay.
I can't
Queue up-
assess
queue
up
up
or
another.
down. So
So I think we've eliminated 2 causes of death, which is good.
yeah,
That's good progress in a stream. It's really funny how, like, every time we've done this, one of your snakes grows at a decent pace and the other one just like always manages to stay tiny. Why did that happen?
why did that happen? That is a
hang
question.
on.
worth asking.
Your snake ate. So
What do you mean?
it was a state. So go back. So keep going back. Go back one more. So sorry, not that far back. Oh god. Okay, go forward. Stop. Okay, now back 2. Okay, so forward 1.
Joe.
Okay, so here your forward 1 more. I'm not taking the okay, here we go. So your snake just ate. So here the other snake looks at your tail and is like, I can make that because that tail is going to move. But because you just ate, the tail will stay where it is for a turn. So if you press forward now,
I understand. It ate
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So when it goes there, it's there. Yeah. Do you want to know what?
Yeah.
I don't care.
yeah, that one you don't need to fix. That's fine.
But that's really fascinating. Yeah. So it's the tail stays put for one turn while it grows from the head.
Yeah. Hugh, I also have Ethernet over the power grid. I'm streaming to you from Ethernet over power grid over power right now. It's fine. It's not 2006. Ethernet over power is fine now.
Yeah, I have some power line adapters. I just need to install them. I think it's I mean, this is a brand new house that was like finished in March, so like it will be sound. He says he hopes. He really hopes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The important thing is just to get an adapter that has a noise filter on it, because your internet will get worse when you run the washing machine. But other than that, it's fine.
Huh. I've not really considered that. Or the tumble dryer, I guess, is another like really high.
Any large appliance will cause like electrical noise on the.
That's why. What, and your power line adapter can.
Your power line adapter filters noise out of it, yeah. So there's a couple of tricks, which is like always make sure your power line adapter is plugged into a different circuit within the wall than any large appliances. And most of the power line adapters will have a plug on the outside. And the reason for that is if you've got two plugs next to each other, like say, and you plug an extension lead into one and the power line adapter into the other, there will be noise on it from the extension lead. So instead you plug it into the power line adapter and the power line adapter will filter out that noise. So
you put the extension in. So I put the extension in the power line adapter socket.
Yes.
That is exactly the opposite of. Oh wow! I was going to do I've left a plug there. I was going to do exactly the opposite.
No. That's exactly what that socket is on there for. It's so that anything you plug in around it is at least having its noise filtered out.
Damn, that is great. Thank you. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Cool. So what's this? So what are we doing here? We are trying to live if there is no point.
at least rolling the dice and seeing what happens.
Exactly. Worth a punt, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that.
Yeah. So
sorry, Josh. Just couldn't help myself.
It's a mood, Kevin.
Sorry.
So we will check back in. So I said we've got an impromptu Coding Badly next Thursday when we've got a guest on.
Awesome.
I will check in on Agitated Hoover next stream and see where you've made up to, and obviously we'll keep an eye on Twitters and everything and see where you get to before it kicks off.
Yeah, and so we'll be back. So is the show next week an additional show?
Next week's an additional show. So for content, if you haven't been keeping up with the way the Battlesnake shows work, we stream the same time every Thursday, but we're on a show rota. So once a month is when Coding Badly is on, and then it's Deep Learning with Aurora, Community Corner with Andrew, and then a dangling show. And the dangling show keeps rotating. And so next week is the dangling show, and it's a co-pilot show.
Awesome.
So yeah, Coding Badly will be back in about a month's time. And that's when we will next... What are we going to do next time? Audience, what would you like to see? What would you like to see next time? So, as we said, we're going to call it a day on Netlify. We wanted to do Netlify because it was, cool doing a completely serverless snake using a serverless framework, and we didn't... When we did this, so Kevin has various tags here. So, Battlesnake has tags for the technologies. Lambda, serverless, and Netlify did not exist. So, we pushed that boundary. What do we do next time?
I'm super open.
Yeah.
Hexagon said machine learning. Do you want to know what? As someone who really doesn't have a lot of experience in machine learning, we could try machine learning badly on top of Battlesnake badly.
Just actually learning machine learning completely from scratch.
Battlesnake through Nginx configs. Or Nginx, I don't know how people say it.
So actually that is something that... So Penelope... We had a thing with Penelope where Penelope did actually write a bash Battlesnake. And then Penelope actually got really into Battlesnake and ended up writing an actually good Battlesnake in Rust. But we still never returned back to have Penelope on to do the bash Battlesnake. So that will happen. I will make that happen at some point.
A personality-based snake. Quiz the person on what they do if there was a situation and do that in code. Didn't you do that? Didn't you ask people for feedback? You literally was like, given this board, what would you do? Did you do that?
Oh, yeah, our capture snake. We did make that. Naomi and I made that. That was the episode where we put Brad in the cupboard. So BJ Naomi and I made a snake where the snake encounters a game state, so a board with a snake in a certain position and food in a certain position, and it hashes that board state and adds it to a database. Those game states are then served up to users on websites in a captcha like Google Captcha, but instead they get a Battlesnake board that says pick the best move, and then the user submits the move. And then so every time the Battlesnake encounters a game state, it goes and looks in the database for a game state with that hash and says, do we have a human picked move for this game state? And if there is one, it takes it. Otherwise, it takes a random move, and that move goes into the database.
I love that so
much. we did make that. It does work. It's just
in terms of the captcha
anywhere. Yeah.
In terms of the capture side,
it's so many game states. So many game
really,
states.
Well, I was going to say, how do you approve the capture in as much as knowing, like, you say, okay, so that was correct.
We had this. So obviously, like, we can only go so far, but we did add basic checking to it, which checks if the user has killed the snake. So if the user selects a move that would kill the snake through the wall or hitting a body, then we eliminate that game state. And then we also added basically voting. So if we somehow end up in a world where all of the game states have more than one choice on them, it will take the choice that has the most selections. And the other thing, the next iteration we need to do, because there are so many game states, that a snake will never realistically see a board that looks the same. Basically, we were going to start saying, like, okay, do we have a game state for the whole board? No. Okay, do we have a game state for just the four squares around the snake's head? Look at that one instead. So that's
cool.
that was the next stage.
I love
one day we'll finish. The thing is that the idea works. We built the snake, but we haven't put the capture anywhere where we would get answers. That's what we need to do, really.
I love that. I suppose from me, I'll see you next month. Then we'll start a new snake. We'll do something else that we shouldn't. I mean, I did have we can cover this next time. I have like this. We spoke about it at the very beginning when you agreed to have me on the show. We could use orbit in ways orbit shouldn't be used, which we can talk about next time. Or we could have snakes on the board as members in an orbit workspace, or some it's like playing Battlesnake in ways Battlesnake shouldn't be used by using orbit in ways orbit shouldn't be used. It's like a delicious combination.
Which is very what this show is about. While you're talking about orbit, would you like to talk about orbit?
Yeah, I work for
a plug for the show.
Yeah, I work for a company called Orbit. This is Orbit. This arrived the other day. It's quite a comfy T-shirt, actually. The team did good at picking.
Nice.
It's an AS color stock. I'm a event organizer, so I literally went straight for the label and was like, "What is this?" We are mission control for community builders. So if you run any form of community, wherever they're at on the internet, wherever they gather, we help you get that data into a single place and kind of get a bird's eye view of your community, and also understand what an individual does across all those platforms. It's really fun. Worked there for, I think we're just coming to the end of month 3. And it's good. It's good fun. Apart from the fact I have to work with John, who's here in the chat. Soz. We're hiring.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're hiring engineers. So if you're interested in maybe being able to justify helping me build Battlesnakes in ways they shouldn't be built by using Orbit in ways Orbit shouldn't be built, shouldn't be used, but also building a cool product, come chat to me here.
I'm a big fan. I use Orbit for a bunch of work. Cool. So we'll definitely look at that. Speaking of stupid things in the show that shouldn't happen, we have a blog post out with Replit now. I will find that and stick that in the chat at some point, I guess, on the face snake that me and Brad did last season. So the snake that was controlled with our face using face detection.
Was it this one? Was it this one, or is it the one where?
It's that one. Yeah, I
saw that.
I'll throw that in chat. So we will get back to some more stupid stuff. We've kind of followed the same path. The first season of Brad and Joe Coding Badly was trying, and then we did stupid shit. Kevin has done trying, and now we will start doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that was a really good primer to Battlesnake in four episodes, and now we can start doing even more dumb stuff. I was going to use a different word. We're here.
We're bad for that tonight. Anyway, I will let you go. Don't move. I want to talk to you. Farewell, Kevin. Thank you so much. Catch you later. Hello, everyone. Before you go, I want to drop some reminders again for you. I want to remind you about a sequence of things, of events that are happening. Let me give you my screen. Let me put that up. Add the stream. There we go. So, things I need to remind you about. Summer League. It ends very soon, as we've spoken about several times. It ends August 1st. There is something important about that. As I mentioned, we spoke about the schedule a little bit earlier. Battlesnake streams on Thursdays. It also streams on Saturdays for Snake Pit Live. There are going to be 2 Snake Pit Lives, this Saturday and next Saturday. So if you have been, get that into your head now. So I'm telling you this is very important because Snake Pit Live has been every other week, but because we're coming to the end of the Summer League, it will be this Saturday and next Saturday. So this Saturday is kind of the end of the tournament. We're going to do a couple of fun things. Next Saturday is the big tournament, the end of it. Or is it Sunday? Battlesnake official in the chat, if you can confirm the date of the Snake Pit Live, which ends it, would be great. But this weekend and next weekend. This weekend, 2 things are happening, very important things. First up, we're going to be doing the company Battlesnake competition. So in the Battlesnake league table, you will see some snakes are tagged with company logos. We've got AWS snakes. We've got Cert End snakes. We've got Schneider snakes. There's some more down here as well. These are snakes that are entered by companies and they're representing their company. Those snakes are all going to be going to head in a special company mini tournament. Brevity is another one. A special company mini tournament. So if you want to watch various companies beat each other up with snakes, next Saturday is when that mini tournament is going to be happening. And then as well as that, we're going to be doing the Caster Crown tournament. So the Caster Crown is a little competition we've been running where each of the casters, that's Curtis, Chris, Aileen and myself, we have our own little houses. You can think of it kind of like Harry Potter houses, I guess. We've got the House of Curtis, the House of Aileen, House of Joe and House of Curtis. House of Chris and then House of Curtis. We've been earning points throughout the Summer League, but next weekend is the finale. So if your snake has been playing on behalf of a house on Saturdays, please turn up next week and make sure your snake is ready next week, because that will be the finale. Your snake house headmasters will want to call upon your snake in their time of need. So please warm up those snakes, because next Saturday will be the conclusion to the caster houses. It does look like Chris has really sweeped it, but Aileen has closed the gap. I definitely am not winning. Let's get that out of the way now. Penelope Snake, which is a House of Joe snake, has been kicking butt, and Shy Helen is also very good. So maybe we'll pull it out the bag. But at this point in time, the House of Chris just has so many good snakes. It's looking dire. So next Saturday, be there. Lots of great things. And then Saturday 31st is the finale tournament of the whole thing. That will be when the top snakes from the leaderboard will be going head to head to wrap up the tournament, and we'll be crowning a winner. Highly recommend you turn up for that. If you haven't watched a tournament before, let me tell you, it's really surprising how much things change. Like, you will be watching this leaderboard and, like, you know, you look at the scores and you're like, oh, I'm pretty certain that X or X snake wins. But one thing you need to remember about the leaderboard is that it's always the same game format, basically, right? Like, you know, you have 4 snakes in Royale, and then, you know, a winner is crowned. The funny thing that gets me about the tournaments every single time is, like, as we do like heat stages, and then we break it out into smaller stages, and then there's a finale, and like in the finals it's like it's the first of 3 wins, and the amount of snakes on a board at any given time changes a little bit, and what you need to do to move to the next stage changes a little bit, and it differs more than you think from this leaderboard. And so sometimes the results swing in directions you cannot anticipate. It's always really fun. So please make sure you're there on July 31st to watch the finale tournament. It will be wonderful. So that is everything from me. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to start turning the music up, and I will say goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.